Hi everyone, it's Kendra Devlin and we are back for another video on how to align the work that you do with the work that you were called to do without feeling guilty about other church work. And so I've heard this so many different times, like, I'm always getting pressured into being a part of different ministries, or I feel like I have to be a part of as many ministries as I can, and all of that. But it's like that can be overwhelming. Like, since when did God say that you are the head, the fingers, the elbow, the femur, the neck bone? God never said that you were the whole body. You are a part. You are not the whole part, and you're not supposed to be doing a million different things to the point where you can't even sit down and eat. Like, sometimes we're always trying to consume ourselves or say, well, I can do it, I got it, and all this superhero monkey business, which is not biblical. We don't have to do all of that, but you need to align yourself with what God has called you to do. And I am not opposed to doing work in your congregation because there's work needs to be done, and maybe there's not enough laborers, and there's a season of where you have to do other things. I'm not definitely opposed to that. But you definitely need to prioritize what God has actually called you to do. So making sure you prioritize the ministry that He's called you to do within your congregation, or online, whatever that ministry is, based off of like the information that you need to gather, what you need to understand, getting a group of people that's going to help you with it, the plans that surround, the ministry itself, the implementation of the ministry. Like, if you don't put all those things into consideration, you'll be running around like a chicken without a head. And it's not necessary to do that to work for God. You don't have to be a part of 20,000 different ministries. You will never be effective that way. You will never be effective that way. So prioritize the very thing that God has actually called you to do. And then write out your week and stick to that plan. Like, okay, I need to gather up some information on that. I need to go back to the word on this. I need to call a few people and see if they can help me with it. Or if it's a ministry that's already at your congregation that you've been working with. Okay, well, what's the pieces that I'm going to be helping out with this ministry? And how much work do I need to do throughout the week? So that I can go ahead and make sure I'm efficient and effective within this ministry. That's what you need to do. Also, remember that when you plan and prepare things, probably at least 30% of it is like going to be off, because one thing may take longer. Something else you have seen has arisen, then you got to bring somebody else to help you or whatever. You always have to be flexible as well when you're planning and putting things together, or you're part of a ministry and you have your piece of that ministry to do. So make sure you give yourself a little bit of extra room, wiggle room for things that may arise. Then with your extra time, use that time for another ministry at your congregation. But you should not be trying to be a part of everything and not prioritize. You have to prioritize your time properly. Then you will actually feel balanced. You will have some kind of balance in your life when you prioritize things properly. And so then you just need to do, the other part is doing one ministry year round. You only need to be a part of like one main ministry. There may be a second one where it's like, okay, it's an event, or there is something that's going on for a quarter and you're helping out with this. But you really shouldn't be a part of like a million different ministries, because again, you can't be effective for Christ. The whole point is to be effective within that ministry, to be able to be 100% within that ministry. And when you're trying to do all these multiple things, like it just does not work out. And you still have work. You still have other things you have to do. You still have to hang out with your friends every so often, because you are a human being, right? So make sure you just prioritize your time, prioritize the time that you have with your ministry, how much time you're going to need throughout the week. Give yourself that little bit of wiggle room. Then filter through what other ministry that you can possibly do in the congregation where there's a need, or it's just something you love to do. And then make sure you stick to that 1 year round. And if you want to add something, do a little bit, but don't overwhelm yourself. Be effective in the thing that God has actually called you to do. And go ahead and do that today, because tomorrow is too late to be great.